arriving on the 20th of April right after midnight, 12:12 a.m. Eastern. The 19th of April arriving on 11:12 p.m. Central, 10:12 p.m. Mountain, 9:12 Pacific. It's considered the hybrid, a rare hybrid solar eclipse by space.com, visible from parts of the Pacific and Indian Ocean region. She won't be visible in the United States, however, boo-hoo. She will be seen in Western Australia, Eastern Indonesia, beginning late in the evening on the 19th and ending early morning on the 20th, the following day. So for my Australian and Indonesian listeners, take a pic and show us your night sky in the comments. Please do. So coming in at the radical degree, the 29th degree, the angle of integrity and reality, the critical energy, activating a gateway to a new paradigm, a new reality.
Inshallah and Ashe. Don't mind my eye here today. It's feeling a little glitchy. But the divine wills, blessings to you, 300 plus magical energetic beings. So are we going to hit 400 plus at the end of the month? So do what you do. Share the excitement with your friends along with your like-minded virtual musers. Either way, thank you for joining me on this mystical, magical Monday, engaging our feelings with our spiritual divine connection. The goddess of the night will soon be moving into the season of Aries, but for now is still in the season of Pisces. So we really do have this emotional conduit actually happening. So are you getting prepared for this new moon solar eclipse? I just did some shorts this morning coming out for you. So go ahead, turn on the notification bell, hit that white rabbit right now. It's the only way that we can actually make it certain that the algorithm will give you the nutritional quotient that your heart deserves, heartfelt, the value quotient, the optimistic venue, the love quotient, which we all need. So while we're waiting for people to hop onto the live, listen to the replay, tune in the afternoon or whatever timeline you're on, make it juicy. So in the world of the other world, we're in the midst of Avalon. We're moving towards the streams, fastening our seatbelts, making headway. So how is it that you ultimately appear out into the world? What does that look like? What are we known to do is hugely going to be based creating this whirlwind foundation on our responses to our daily life. My life is transforming faster than I could probably ever put a ticket on. Just kidding. But our greatest asset, the key, is our actions that we take, initiations, ritual, to connect with how we feel about them. And what we sense is actually the key. It's the next best chess move. The greatest, meaning the greatest asset of all time to our character, our image, or even our memoirs, not only out into the world, but more importantly, to ourselves. The way we treat ourselves is the way the world treats us. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room, my audio room too. And if you have yet to subscribe, of course, to my channels, please do, YouTube or otherwise, predominantly. Tonya D on YouTube, where you're tuning in right now, and Musing with Tonya D, my podcast. I'm loving my journey this year, the season of the witches, but being that we're at the end degrees of the season of Aries, where the root, the sacral, along with our spiritual connection, that channel, they're initiating the great change in our cosmic brew. But before I go any further, once again, let's give a shout out to the village, my growing tribe, excelling, to all the new peeps entering the community, storytellers, new subscribers, a validation, a voice of acknowledgement and recognition. I always like to say, I see you, I hear you, I sent you. New friends and guests arriving, welcome to the show. And my intention truly is to hit 400 by month's end, of course. That takes a village, right? And also a shout out to those of you that have been a part of my journey since the beginning. It really does take a community, a village, a tribe. Gratitude and blessings to you and for you. Thanks as always for tuning in. And those again that do tune in later to the replay. And remember, a comment if you do feel that you're in need of a message for your day. Sharing is just another way of paying it forward. You could also find me on TikTok, where I'm doing the dance there, weaving the web. Just remember, I am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we have energetic hiccups. We need an otherworldly life coach assistant, myself included, by divine design, to get us out of our own magical ways so that our light shines brighter. There's no reason to dim our light. And what's the daily snippet about? Well, I bring in the cosmic insights, the planets doing their cosmic dance. By design, I do follow the lunar energies, the moon, through the gates of human design, which I have one activated today, so stay tuned for that if you're curious. And our root center, the chalice of who we are, goes to the zone of emotional neutrality, initiating this great transformation. Intuitively, the Filling Sister's been online, right? So just circling back to the root center, manifesting in the physical. The elementals, the 4 pillars. I generally do a mystery guest on Sundays, normally. However, yesterday I took a day off to be just with me and divine reflecting. But yes, traditionally I do a mystery guest on Sunday, so be sure to subscribe to that. Subtle energies, chakras, energy centers, and much more, the channels and the pathways by design. I've been doing this for so long, I can't remember. But even our auric fields, you know. So how was your weekend? Any spring cleaning? I literally went through my entire bedroom, washed down all my walls, got rid of things. I'm going to start going through the clothes and all that stuff soon, possibly the bathroom and some other rooms. I went to my ancestor altar, cleansed all that, recalibrated it, did an offering. It was awesome. But the waters, they're clearing the pathway, cleansing the earth of debris here in Utah. There's a lot of flooding. And I love the energy of today for a variety of reasons, mostly because it's sextiling my sun, if you will. So I feel it. It's the energy of moving forward, making the leap, the jump into these undiscovered potentials, performing. It's a master of self behavior, initiating this great transformation. And I've said all year in the doTERRA, we're in a season of change, transformation, shifting, and we don't even know what that's going to look like. It's kind of like you going into the cocoon as this caterpillar and you come out of the cocoon as a butterfly, and you don't even know what colors are going to be percolating. But often we do feel unsure. We're nervous. We're feeling maybe a little unsettled. Go back to your feelings. I literally, oh my God, had my own epiphany about the feelings. But before the journeyman, we're entering a new pathway. The best thing to do truly is to connect to our feelings, investing in them, taking time, giving them space, and grounding our emotional foundation, bringing our feelings to the zone of emotional neutrality. It's even how we manifest, actually. So in this moment, today really is the day where we're moving the chess pieces, the puzzle pieces, where we take or initiate the actions to really shift and transform our lives out into the future. Often it's the inhale, it's the pause point, it's the exhale, and the in-between. It creates a domino effect that happens when we actually initiate the baby step. Baby steps are actually, I would say, the magnitude of it all. It's like finding the needle in the haystack, which then it starts the wheels of change, the transforming of our situations, the game of life, our gift and purpose. So it's like, what seed have you been planting this spring? You got to do the vital check-in, the subtle energy vital check-in on our feelings. What do you feel? What do you sense? What's your intuition? I do find myself, when I do tune into my feelings along with my intuition, I then get the signal to go, or an alert signal. And they both have to be in alignment. They have to be resonating, or in a coercion, I guess, if you will, to know if the action I'm initiating is actually the correct, or am I on the right path? Is it the right time? Am I with the right people? That's part of being a reflector. What am I seeing that no one else can see? What is the movement that I am creating? What is the solution I create within that movement? So it really is vitally important that today, before moving forward, that we do that vital check-in with our subtle energetic field, even using our feelings to sense, feeling empathy, spiritual connection, divine prophetic connection, even, if you will. So if anything feels off, awkward, spiraling out of control, out of spiritual alignment, feeling alignment, if anything feels off, the key to access is to know, honestly, that you may not be ready. There's no rush. We don't need the fool's gold. Our intuition, our spidey senses then give us that alert signal, warnings, forces of adversity, obstacles in our pathway. And those are information informing us that the timing may be off. Maybe we need to take a breath and a pause. We need to wait. But today is the first step to our transformation, this process of integrating, moving forward. And the key ultimately is our feelings and our intuition. So listen in, tune in. I would even vibrate in, really. Allowing, there's no rush. Fools rush in, goes back to the fool's gold. So for me, this is actually happening to a level of trusting where I truly, authentically belong in this life. Acting on my intentions, my heart personally kind of identifying with them like I belong. Even in a cowrie shell divination, for those of you that have joined me for a divination for some soul support for yourselves, because we're all going through this transformation. So feeling into you and feel where this is happening on your chessboard and listening in. Listen to your intuitive gifts and your psychic abilities. Take the Change Your Stars quiz, especially if you're unsure what your gift or purpose is, and join me in the Rising of the Origins, a private group for like-minded musers where we're calibrating the 4 pillars of Chinese astrology, the elementals, amongst other things. So with that, just a few announcements. Of course, you already know that the Musing Moon meditation is out on the highway right now. And I did do some shorts for that, so be sure to watch that on YouTube. Exciting times indeed. We do have the Season of the Witches. I do have Wag the Tail. Funny story here. Shannon Grissom doesn't see herself as a witch. She actually changed my thumbnail because it says Season of the Witches. And she made an oracle deck. Now, how funny is that to wag your tail? So honestly, pretty funny. They're a great little oracle deck. I used them last week. But she's my audio artist in my medicine room. So be sure to check out the Sock Monkey Oracle. Tag me, if you will. Tune in and listen to her journey of how the Sock Monkeys came about. And of course, you can listen on Tonya D Podcast, Musing with Tonya D, TonyaD.tv/podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon as well, I believe. I mean, you just Google, right? Just remember to comment, please, on your favorite audio room artist guest. I do have room at the end of the year to double tag, bring somebody back for round 2, sharing their light. And again, on Sundays, I do the mystery guest, the 4 pillars chart in the Rising of the Origins, a private group just for that. And again, I am bringing to the stage the Witcher's Way to Manifestation. We're recalibrating this. And we all manifest differently, right? We law of attract differently. Myself, as a Gemini, I manifest differently, possibly with using more of my voice if I was looking at my sun, my career aspect. But if I went to my Virgo self, I have to believe. If I do not believe in something, I cannot manifest it. My heart has to be in alignment, full-on alignment. So that's what I mean when we say we all manifest differently. We're all unique. It's a layering. It's a building block. It's a foundation. So going possibly to the root chambers, the installation chambers, if you will. And again, I do offer cowrie shell divinations. I've been doing quite a few lately, one-on-one soul support sessions to get us out of our own magical way. And we still have Mongolia for some inspired peeps. Being that that's happening as well, pretty exciting there. But I do have a gate connected today. So this is the gate. Look at that in human design. It's gate 17 and 62. Which is this esoteric translator. It's the gate of details that's been called this esoteric translator because it's the action to be somewhat complicated, supposedly, especially in the esoteric ones, making them a workable language and plans and instruction. So it's all about language, clarity, being a translator, communicating the details, the facts. So it's correlated to the throat center and it connects to the ajna center through gate 17. So 62 is the energy to communicate with clarity and precision. And it's also, it's like, you know, what do I want to say? It's like the rhythms of the dance, music, stars. It's all this galactic, otherworldly energy. And just knowing that the limits of our voice means the limits of the world, what we take out into the world. So it's a kind of that kind of choreography. But gate 17, actually, in the human design system, is a process of, what do I want to say here? It's the gate of powerful opinion. So we've got this esoteric gate with this powerful opinion gate. they're kind of doing the dance here. So it's opinions, creating solutions, logic. It's just a powerful, it's this energy of merging the two, it feels like you're bringing the mystical into reality, bringing our dreams, contemplating what the dreams are. So it's just, what am I trying to say? Kind of a deconditioning and just knowing what we don't know. What I know is that we don't know, sometimes. So it's this unconscious role for myself, but, it's about the person who never alters their opinions is like standing water that breeds reptiles of our mind. We do have to do some cleansing. So that's pretty exciting there. This happens to me once a month. Obviously, I'm following the moon through the gates. So that's exciting there. And then on the elemental highway, what do we have here? We have a Yin Wood Snake of a day. Remember, snakes always remind me of Mowgli and Jungle Book. But it's the beginning of the fire season. That's what the snake is. Kind of curious, actually. And the snake is also the birth of Yang metal or metal of the West. But Yang fire is rooted in our day, in the snake, in the month there. And Yin Wood is rooted in our year, the rabbit, and also in the dragon. It's hidden in the dragon. Either way, we're rooted. Just remember, as always, Yin Wood is a vine, or it's the trees or the grass that the more we prune it, the more it grows. It becomes vital. It takes over the landscape. But we have metal deep in storage in the snake. At the hour of the pig, the metal is released to bring us some much needed pruning, if you gather there. In the hour of the tiger, we're going to have an eastern direction, which is wealth and prosperity coming towards us, abundance. The winds of change. This entire year is about lighting the candle in the wind, right? So it's like the presence of fame and fortune might not be long lasting. So we kind of really have to hone in on that. And the energy of our day is one that makes things happen. It's accommodating in order to reach the goals, the outcome, our performance. It may appear actually somewhat radical to others, but the wealth that's created when we come into our authenticity, our authentic power, the power of being kindness, using kindness as our medicine, our weapon, doing something kind out into the world. Kindness really is an energy of the rabbit, and wood is being kindness. Being courageous is the energy of metal. Being in love and joy is fire. Contemplating water. Inner peace, the dragon. Inner peace is water. But the yang fire on the month is supporting this as well. So the dragon, the mountain, is our meadow. That's where we're going to play, be creative. That's what's going to bring us wealth as well. Whatever you create today initiates the coming of abundance. A friend is hidden, so we do have support. We also have yin water in storage, the wet earth. And right now, again, Utah is flooding. We've got a lot of yang water. Yang water is cleansing the corruption, the people, the corporate builders in bed with politicians. Water shapeshifts, it transforms. So it might be an energy of asking for forgiveness just because the yang water is, it's moving. So it's moving the cosmic debris, just kind of musing there. But our day does need metal, minerals, community, a voice to be heard, recognized, listened to. It's like, are we listening? It's also crystals. It's a knife. Maybe go do some spring cleanup, pruning out in nature, connecting with nature, cleaning up the land and whatnot, initiating this great change, the change that we wish to be. We have all of the elements, even the yang metals actually in storage, the ones unseen. The snake is the birth of metal. Again, metal's dormant, but it's still there. I wouldn't be surprised if people kind of spoke up today, used their authentic voice, were courageous to speak their spiritual truths. That's kind of the frequency energy there. Now the messages, I actually have 5 cards. I'm not going to dive into all of them because we have all week long, right? Plus we've got, oh my God, this eclipse moon. I don't know if you can feel it, but I feel like my bones are shaking on the inside. But I did go with the Weavers of Fate, I think. I just call them the Weavers, that deck. It's kind of hard to take pictures of it, but it's an amazing deck. But we do have the Two of Swords. So the swords is kind of like cutting away. It's the air of intelligence, it's change, it's power. It's actually the element that we need today. It's communication, courage, ambition. Reminds me of power in a way, a moment of reflection, solitude, the two, what we feel, time, space, to our inner child, paying attention to our feelings. This might indicate some denial, maybe difficulty in seeing a situation with clarity, things that are happening right in front of us. Sometimes it's problematic. It prevents us from finding a solution. I tend to be solution based than problematic based myself. We know we have problems, but what's the solution, right? We can't keep throwing money on our problems and expecting them to go away. However, there are two paths to take here, and we can take neither one of them. Neither one seems so great, but maybe we're feeling afraid. Maybe we're afraid to address them. But it's actually, the message is it's time to do just that. Getting in touch with our deeper feelings is actually healthy. It allows us to lead the fuller, more joy-centered, joy molecules bursting within our lives despite those moments of discomfort and forces of adversity. Those are just energetic hiccups giving us a wake-up call. So if you're repressing your feelings, which a lot of people do, it's time to really acknowledge them, give a voice to them. Often when swords actually show up, they indicate tensions within our emotional field, but we know there are ways of dealing with them to make them smoother, to get into the flow, to feel safer. First, often, you kind of have to examine your relationship with your feelings, your own personal feelings, kind of confronting them, problems, or denying them. We often deny our feelings. So you kind of have to pay attention. What's the pattern at play? I'm actually paying more attention to my feelings lately than probably I have in forever. So, how do things make you feel? After reflecting, try dropping into your body, becoming embodied, and see if you can locate where the discomfort is living in your body. There may be a place within you that holds some painful experiences or memoirs that need to be kind of tended to, the inner child, so we can create new, healthier patterns, a voice of listening to your feelings, your inner childlike wonder self, and I actually created little chakra snippets that you'll see when different energy centers become activated. And our feeling center actually becomes activated after, of course, our root center at about age, I would say 6 months to about 2. And if you watch little kids, you can tell their feelings because they have those facial expressions, right? So just make sure you go within your body and find a place within that really feels safe and secure, rooted, that we can actually retreat into when we need to. It's really a day of kind of solitude. I do have soliciting solitude now that I say that out loud. It's a day of inner reflection on this initiation day where we're getting guidance from spirit and our feelings. So really pay attention to those things. So following the Two of Swords, we've got the Three of Swords for tomorrow, Tuesday, the Three of Swords. It's otherworldly. So this is a signal to process grief, possibly even betrayal, loss. The three, what do you believe in your heart? What do you believe about something? And we're going to dive more into that tomorrow. However, just giving it, I'm giving it a breather. And then on Wednesday, we've got the Six of Cups, which is awesome. I don't know if you can see all the cups there, but they're still pretty surprising. But it's emotions, not surprising, especially we have the eclipse this week. And this is like the morning of the eclipse. So emotions, obviously, are going to be rising high, right? And the six, it's like, what are we able to open our heart to accept and receive? It's the attitude of gratitude is also an attitude of receivership. And again, we'll dive in further on Wednesday about that little memo coming through. And then Thursday, we have another six, the six of coins, seeing a pattern already. So again, another six. So we are really being initiated to receive materials of some sort. And again, I'll dive in further on Thursday for that. And then Friday, we have the Ace, which I'm loving, right? The Ace of Coins. So are you beginning to see the birth of creating, producing what your heart loves? And that's the first day of the season of Taurus. So manifesting is going to become easier when we do what lights up our heart, our star. Again, tune in on Friday for that one as well. What a galactic juicy week, really. But begin to take or initiate your plan of action today. What are you initiating today that's going to transform you into the new you? Possibly the origins of you. How you are seen out into the world begins with our gift and purpose, even a change of character, behavior. So it really is a day to do something masterful, being a mastery of something. We have Yang Fire on the stem, Yin Wood on the day. So this is performance. It's charismatic. It's done with passion, something that lights up your heart, your star. So if you get out onto the stage of life in front of others, you may just find that you are actually excelling organically, naturally, God-given talent in what you already do. Climbing into your skin, feel, and be aware of your feelings. Initiating great change, spirit, destiny. It's the fabric of destiny, spiritually awakening us. So what do you feel? And the waters, are they flowing, reflecting the vitality of your heart, your wishes, your dreams, your creativity? It's time to take a bow in the mirror, pat yourself on the back. Go with what you feel. So I would affirm, I am feeling my transformation, sensing spirit all the way. So with that, I say Ashe, and as always, blessings to you and for you, and I will see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in.
Over 20 years, I kept painting sock monkeys, and I always had this deck in mind, but they went a zillion different directions, the monkeys. I did tons of other things with them, but then during the pandemic, I had 2 one-woman shows close. So I had all the art hung, everything was going, and I'm like, wow, this is a major course correction from the universe. If I'm not supposed to be showing, what am I supposed to be working on if these two doors are slamming? And immediately it was like sock monkey oracle. And so I just, so I already had the artwork done, but I did the graphic design. And then I'm like, okay, who am I to write the text for this oracle deck? And I heard in my mind's ear, it's not coming from you. Just write. And so it was totally channeled, and it took about a month to get that out. And of course, it took a while to polish it after that. But so that's